Hello everyone, welcome back to Anka's Talk YouTube channel. Today we are diving into a fascinating world of peatlands, the natural hidden gems that plays a key role to combat climate change and preserving unique ecosystem. Let's discover how peatland plays a crucial role in the global ecosystem and why their conservation is more critical now than ever before. Today I'm honored to have special guests to discover and explore more about peatlands. He is from Russia and he has over 25 years of experiences in biological sciences. Professor Yuri Maizev from Lomonosov Moscow State University. Are you ready to be informed and amazed by uniqueness of peatlands? Let's embark on this extraordinary journey together. Tell me about what's the peatland and what's its benefits to the society as well as the environment and ecology.
Peatlands are quite specific ecosystems.
Mm-hmm.
They consist of a thick layer of peat,
mm-hmm.
and peat consists of undecomposed organic matter.
Okay.
So it means that peatlands are ecosystems that deposit carbon.
Mm-hmm.
And as carbon cycle is important for climatic changes,
mm-hmm.
so it is important to know how these carbon deposits develop during the time.
There are many advantages for the ecosystem. It supports the ecology of the nature, right? But how it affects the underground water and maybe the urban area of people?
Peatlands are really important for maintaining biodiversity because they are quite specific ecosystems and they harbor a lot of specific groups of organisms, so it is unique by this aspect. But also it is important that they can regulate local hydrological regime, so they can keep water, and so it is a kind of source for water in dry seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But as for the relations with urban systems, I would say that fortunately most of the peatland area, biggest peatlands area,
mm-hmm.
are quite far from the urbanized places. That's why the relations between peatlands and densely populated areas are not too high. But anyway, a lot of peatland area are exploited by humans and they destroy it. This lead to the release of carbon into the atmosphere, so it affects global warming.
See, the peatland itself has various benefits to our environment. Let me share some numerical and interesting facts about peatland. Peatlands cover about 3% of Earth's land surface, but they store approximately 30% of the world's soil carbon. Also, it holds around 550 gigatons of carbon globally, making them critical in the fight against climate change. Peatlands are found in over 180 countries around the world, from tropical to boreal region. Peatlands support a wide variety of plants and animal species, including rare and endangered species that are especially adapted to these unique habitats. However, in recent decades, the global peatland is facing with degradation. Among all people, carbon emission and greenhouse gases are all in the air, but they also stays in the water and the soil, right? In terms of peatland and soil, how many percentage of?
Yeah, that's a good question, and you're right that the carbon deposited in different parts of the biosphere, in the atmosphere, in the ocean, in the biomass of the living organisms, and also in undecayed organic matter like peat. And peat contributes up to 30% of the total carbon on our planet. That's why it is very important to understand the fate of the carbon that is now deposited into the peat. So 1/3, 30% of the total carbon is in peatland.
All the world.
All over the world, all peatlands,
yeah.
all planets.
All planet,
all
yeah.
Planet.
And so you mentioned like 1/3, the 34 or 33% of total greenhouse gas emissions emitted from
total carbon, not emissions, because it is the
total carbon.
Total carbon.
So, based on your experience and research, how many percentage of land is covered by peatland in our Earth?
Yeah, not too many as they deposit carbon. They spread a lot in the boreal zone in the northern America and in the northern Eurasia, and the largest areas that covered by peatlands is Western Siberian plain.
However, in recent decades and recent years, global peatlands are facing with degradations.
Degradation. First of all, of course, human impact, because many areas that were covered by peatlands were either extracted in previous years, because peat was also used as fuel from the mid of 19th century, and many peatlands in Europe and industrial countries were extracted during last centuries. And now many areas covered by peatlands are also exploited by fuel industry, gas and oil industries. But another source of peatland degradation lies in permafrost. So climate warming is also lead to the melting of the permafrost. It also somehow damaged the peatlands on the permafrost area. So this also major cause of the peatland degradation.
So in modern world, is there any new technology that prevents the degradation of peatlands?
Yeah, there are. For those peatlands that were destroyed in last centuries by mining. So there are some technologies quite well developed to drain, to restore peatland ecosystems, and we studied one of that such ecosystem just on the border of Moscow, just nearby Moscow. It was almost fully extracted by the beginning of 20th century, and after that it was abandoned, and the effect of this abandoning of this mire is that it was almost recovered. Yeah. So and
good news.
Yeah, it's and that good news that even if we do not do some specific technical applications to recover, so several decades is enough for the self-recovering process.
Several decades. Means
several
like
decades,
50
years, 40, 50, 60 years. But of course, there are some techniques that make this process faster.
You've implemented a lot of interesting research projects related to peatland, right? So can you share some interesting results of your research works? Some of them.
What I'm working in the area of my expertise is to use some biological indicators that fossilized in a peat to reconstruct past environmental changes and past ecosystem development during the last glacial period. So after this period is called Holocene, and during the Holocene, all peatland ecosystem developed from the initial stage to the current stage, and it is possible to use different proxies, different indicators, organisms to reconstruct past climate conditions and stages of ecosystem development. And I focus on testid amoeba as one of the groups that allow to reconstruct local hydrology. But in addition to other proxies like pollen or plant macrofossils or remains of other organisms, it is also possible to reconstruct climate, temperature, precipitation, etc. And long-term understanding of long-term dynamics, it is important to make proper projection, future projections of the climate change and ecosystem dynamics. And what one of the broad-scale study our group was involved is that we studied the fate of the peatland state in Europe during the last 2,000 years, and it became evident that during last 200 years, peatlands become much drier than they were before, regardless of also dramatic changes in climates in the past. If they were even more pronounced that we have now, but peatlands now drying faster than in previous years.
It's because of climate change.
No, it is because some anthropogenic human impact.
Activities.
Yeah, because in previous years it was also as warmer periods like we have now, but it was not as dry peatlands like now. So now, in addition to climate change, also human impact affect the drying of peatlands, and unfortunately it might cause the positive feedback that will cause further peatland degradation and further climate warming.
Last question.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what's the biggest gap in your research area, like the peatland? And that information might be helpful for young researchers who are focusing on this area.
For young researchers who might be interested to address their knowledge, their intentions to work on the environmental challenges, environmental issues, is just, I would like to say that peatlands are really important to understand contemporary climate change and environmental change. So this is one of the most important type of ecosystems on our planet. So that's why it is important to know deeper and in more details.
So in terms of like in peatland, it needs more research.
Right.
More studies on that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. I hope you found this video interesting and thought-provoking. Remember, we all play an essential role to protect our environment. Peatlands are the crucial piece of puzzles to protect our ecology. So let's raise awareness to protect this wetland for our next generation. Thank you for watching. See you next time.